Hi, Kayla here with TrekMovie.com. I'm talking with Ralph and Sam, the executive producer and producer of Star Trek Infinite Space, the new free-to-play browser-based game. So tell me a little about the game. What's the progress so far? When is it going to be available for fans to be able to start playing?
Right. The game will be definitely released this year. We have not officially announced any fixed date yet, but we'll definitely keep the community on track when we're going to launch a beta, an open and closed beta version, and when we're finally going to release the game. So right now we're quite good on track. We're happy with the progress. We've already done some first internal focus group tests with a small group of testers out of the community, and we are currently trying to nail down the fine-tuning of the mechanics and the game balancing. The game will be, like you said, a free-to-play browser-based game in the Deep Space Nine setting, and it will be fully 3D, but it runs in any browser, and you just need the Unity plugin to play the game.
Okay, so will it just be restricted to the Deep Space Nine era then?
That's right.
For gameplay?
Yeah.
So it seems like it's kind of a new thing for a lot of players to have a free kind of MMO-style all-online game, and definitely a new direction for Star Trek games to go.
Yep.
So what do you feel are the advantages of this kind of play?
Well, first of all, the accessibility is very good with our game. You just can pick it up and play. And also the look is very different from the standard MMOs. You don't have like this shoulder view, 3D, more like 2D look with very good graphics, and that's something that's very easy to understand just for the navigation and controls of the game.
The cool thing to have that in a timeline like the Deep Space Nine setting, not in a future setting or a different setting that the player or the Star Trek fan is not familiar with, is that we can have a lot of. Well, we have Lee Sheldon on board, for example, who was one of the writers on Star Trek Next Generation. He's helping us with the story. So we have a really rich storyline embedded into the Deep Space Nine timeline. But the player is, of course, not just replaying the whole episodes, but he's playing all the kind of missions and things you just heard in Deep Space Nine that were happening somewhere out there on the frontiers, of the Dominion War. But the player will be directly engaged into these kind of cool scenarios and settings. So he will encounter a lot of characters he knows from the series, like Sisko and all the other characters, but he will play his own story in the Deep Space Nine setting, in the Deep Space Nine timeline.
So your character in this game, I played a few minutes and I got to be on a ship and fly around and shoot things.
Right.
Is there also an aspect where you have a physical person as a character, where you can walk around a space station?
You can do that. You can walk around the space station. You're basically the captain of your ship, and you command a crew of officers, which you also can customize and put different clothes on them and progress and give them more experience. But basically, you walk around as the captain, and so that's what you can do. But the main gameplay is going to be out in space.
And on the space stations where you can walk around with the avatar, it's more about the social aspects of you can get new missions on those space stations, but you can also chat around with other players, meet NPCs, meet some Ferengis, buy some stuff and stuff like that. So that's more for the social aspects of the game and feeling like you're the avatar, and when you go out in space you fly a spaceship.
So how important would you say is the social aspect in this game? Is it something where you really need to go and have a group of players to complete a mission, or is it something where you can spend most of your time doing solo missions, or is it kind of a combination of the two?
Well, you can say it's a combination, but obviously if you have an MMO, an online game, basically it's a very, very important point, and we have a big emphasis on that. So not only you socialize on the space stations, but you can gather groups of players and go on the missions together, which you could also have played alone at the beginning to get familiar with the game. But it also allows us to give the player more replayability of the game and a new experience. And also you can use different tactics if you have like 5 players. One is like the more aggressive, tanky player. The other guy is like more like the supporter. So that's what we try to do and complement different playstyles of them. So it's a big part of the game, of course.
And there will be also for those players who just want to play, missions, they can also play PvP, so there will be PvP settings where you can, fight each other, so you can gather with a group of friends and try to fight other groups or something like that. The cool thing here is that we can even allow, some kind of Federation versus Federation battles just by saying it's the holodeck, so we can pretty much do everything.
Well, it looks like a pretty exciting game. It's good graphics, intuitive gameplay. What are you guys looking forward to the most when it's released?
Well, just for me, basically, it's the point you just said last, the social aspect of the game, because if I played the game alone and then I get to a certain point, but then the more fun I get if I play with my friends. Gather around with some group of friends and see their ships and their progress in the game and level. That really elevates my experience. That's what I'm looking for.
And I'm definitely looking for the aspect of the game that you will have two sides, so you can choose at the beginning whether you play the Klingon side or the Federation side, and I'm really looking forward to that, how those different sides will feel differently and how the player will really act in the game differently, like if they were Klingons or Federation, and adopt their way of acting in the game. That will be very intriguing to see.
Well, thanks so much for talking to me, you guys. I look forward to the game coming out so I can play it online.
Yeah, same here. It was a pleasure.
Pleasure.
Thank you. Thanks. Thank you.